part of the integumentary system. It is made up of numerous components such as hair, nails, nerves, glands, and etc. The skin also has three major layers: the dermis, epidermis, and subcutaneous layer. Each layer serves a different purpose. The integumentary system has many functions such as protection of the body's internal living tissues and organs, protection against infectious organisms, protecting the body from dehydration, protecting the body against abrupt changes in temperature, disposal of waste materials, storage of water and fat, and it acts as a receptor for touch, pressure, pain, heat, and cold. As we dissected the cat, we noticed the cobweb-like appearance of the connective tissue that attached the skin to muscle. It was difficult at first to skin the cat, but after a while, we were able to successfully make incisions that did not cut into muscle. We have come to fully understand that the cat's skin is connected with other systems in the body, just like ours, especially with the muscular system, as we had to avoid damaging underlying muscles.
The muscular system, on the other hand, was even more difficult to dissect than the skin. We had to identify numerous muscles such as the digastric, clavodeltoid, biceps femoris, external oblique, acromiodeltoid, and gastrocnemius. The muscular system's function is to help with movement, posture, circulation of blood, and other substances throughout the body, and storage of minerals, along with other functions. Every muscle is constructed of skeletal muscle tissue, blood vessels, tendons, and nerves. There are three types of muscles that we were able to identify on the cat. Skeletal muscle is the only voluntary muscle in humans and cats, which can be found in muscles such as the biceps or biceps brachii in cats. Next, smooth muscle is involuntary muscle that can be found inside organs such as the stomach and intestines. Lastly, cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle that can only be found in the heart. In order for muscles to work, signals must be sent to them via nerves from the brain.
We were able to identify numerous nerves as we continued to dive into lower layers of the cat. It was difficult to find the nerves due to the high possibility of severing a nerve as we cut deeper into muscle. Nerves that we were required to identify includes the radial nerve, saphenous nerve, and the common fibular nerve. The nervous system consists of the brain, spinal cord, sensory organs, and all of the nerves that connect these organs with the rest of the body. Together, these organs are responsible for the control of the body and communication among its parts. The brain and spinal cord form the control center known as the central nervous system, or CNS, where information is evaluated and decisions are made. The sensory nerves and sensory organs of the peripheral nervous system, or PNS, monitor conditions inside and outside of the body and send this information to the central nervous system.
In relation to the nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems are the two divisions that make up the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is responsible for regulating the body's unconscious actions such as sexual arousal, digestion, defecation, and regulation of homeostasis. The parasympathetic system is responsible for the stimulation of rest and digest or feed and breed activities such as emission of semen, urination, salivation, and etc. The major nerves associated with the parasympathetic system include the cranial nerves in the cranium, the vagus nerve, and the pelvic splanchnic. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for triggering the body's fight or flight response and constantly maintains homeostasis. The two neurons associated with the sympathetic nervous system include the preganglionic and postganglionic, which are responsible for the transmission of any signal through the sympathetic system.
Another system we covered were the internal organs. To survive and reproduce, the human body relies on major internal organs to perform certain vital functions. When two or more organs, along with their associated structures, work together, they become component parts of the body system. Within the internal organs, we identified the esophagus, the lungs, the diaphragm, the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, the pancreas, the greater omentum, the bladder, and the kidneys. We also had to identify the large intestines, which consisted of the ascending and descending colon. And we found these small intestines, which was comprised of the duodenum, ileum, and jejunum. Since our cat was a female, we also had to identify the ovaries, the uterine horn, and the uterus. All of these systems work hand in hand to bring our bodies, as well as the cat's body, to optimal function.
Internal organs in the cat's body, as well as ours, is the heart. It is a part of the cardiovascular system. This system is responsible for the transport of vital nutrients throughout the body, as well as removal of metabolic waste such as carbon dioxide or nitrogenous waste. The cardiovascular system also helps protect the body and regulate body temperature. The cardiovascular system is made up of numerous components such as the heart, blood vessels, and blood. Our group was responsible for identifying numerous veins and arteries. The difference between veins and arteries is that veins carry deoxygenated blood versus arteries which carry oxygenated blood. Some of the major veins we were able to identify in the cat that are similar to major veins in humans are the superior vena cava, the brachiocephalic vein, the femoral vein, the inferior vena cava, the mesenteric vein, and the brachial vein. Major arteries in cats that are similar to humans are the brachiocephalic artery, left subclavian artery, brachial artery, abdominal aorta, and femoral artery.
As an optional assignment, we had the chance to dissect a sheep's brain. This was an amazing opportunity since we were unable to do anything with the cat's brain. We had to separate the sheep's brain into left and right hemispheres. We had to identify many components of the sheep's brain, such as the parietal lobe, frontal lobe, cerebrum, cerebellum, which is found posterior to the cerebrum, the transverse fissure, the longitudinal fissure, and when you separate the brain into the two hemispheres, we were able to identify the lateral ventricle, the medulla oblongata, and the thalamus. When we turned the sheep's brain into the prone position, it enabled us to identify the oculomotor nerves, the pituitary stalk, and the pons. Many of the components in the sheep's brain mirrored the parts we have in our brains. It was interesting being able to see inside a sheep's brain.